Welcome to Americana Archives. Today's headline is the Maimed Bible, its singular history told by a melancholy gambler. The subheadline says, sure to bring luck to its possessor if he coppers the 9 spot. Melinda Jane Rogers restriction, a weird tale. It says, while sauntering through the upper rooms of the White Elephant, a curious character was pointed to a reporter, says the San Antonio Light. He is a constant habitué of these rooms, is missed if not there every evening, yet has never been known to wager a penny. He was accosted by the light scribe, and being asked why he never tempted fortune, seeing that he was nightly mixing up among her throng of votaries, he said, I never gamble. A Bible only can make me play, yet a Bible arrested me when I became a confirmed player. Upon being requested to explain this apparent paradox, he continued, well, it's kind of a long story, but gospel truth, every word of it. You see, I came to Texas from Indiana a few years ago. I left as pretty a girl behind me as ever saw a hoop pole. Before we said our last farewell, she pushed a little Bible into my breast pocket. She told me to read it and to wear it for her sake. She was a deuced pious little girl, she was. I struck out for New Mexico and loitered around Socorro and Albuquerque doing nothing, till the lining of my jeans could no longer rub against a sawbuck. I had learned how to play cards, and some of the sports who had won nearly my all from me took pity on me and showed me short card tricks, how to stack the deck, etc. It had a powerful charm for me, did gambling. Then I drifted along El Paso, reaching there a few months before the Southern Pacific shook the dust off the sagebrush in her streets. There were lively times then, I tell you. There were killing and robbing on both sides of the river. Sometimes 2 or 3 passed in their chips on a single night. One afternoon late, I started to go to Manning's place to put up a skin game on a sucker I'd been shadowing. I placed a deck. It was a cold one, I tell you. It was trimmed to order. This I put in my bosom, right where I always carry my Bible, but between it and my breast. There had been a row in the town between some of the old policemen and some of the new policemen, and the gamblers got mixed up in it. Just as I was about entering the gambling saloon, some 40-odd shots were fired. I took it all in. 6 men fell in the street. All died. I had just time to count them when I grew dizzy myself, and down I dropped, just feeling the hot blood dripping down my legs. I had been wounded twice, as I afterward discovered, in the right wrist and in the neighborhood of the groin. I was picked up unconscious-like and carried to my room. The boys took good care of me, and in a few days I was allowed to ask for particulars. They told me that 3 balls had been sent at me during the fracas, 2 of which my wounds could account for. But how about the 3rd one, I asked. They explained this by saying that in taking off my shirt, they found the little Bible in the deck of short cards lying directly over my heart. These saved my worthless life. They showed me the Bible, Lord, how it was bored. I examined it. There was a tunnel made by a .45 caliber ball, as big as Billy Curson's mouth. I examined it all the way through. It pierced the first lid, went plumb through Genesis and the Garden of Eden. It raised Cain with Deuteronomy, went whizzing through Kings and Samuel, playing the hurricane with Solomon's girls. It sunk a shaft so deep in Jeremiah you could not hear a groan. Further on, like a hurricane on a spree, it cut the guy ropes of Elijah's chariots, making the old prophet dismount. Then it struck out and went howling through the new book, upsetting the gospel reporters there till it cycloned its way through Revelations, and passed directly through the 51 cards behind it, and it only wanted a little more breath to go through the last card and make an end of me. What was the last card that saved you? Inquired the light man. It was, replied the narrator, the 9 spot of clubs. Only that little piece of pasteboard between me and death. But I'll tell you some on this in a few minutes. Well, continued the interviewed, when I looked at the Bible with the big hole in it, I sort of began to meditate. I thought I would reform, stop ivory turning forever. My wrist was in the hospital. I couldn't write. So I told one of the sports who was so kind to me to write to my girl in Indiana, tell her the circumstances, send her the little riddled Bible, but to say nothing of the cards. And then I told them to make it read a kind of pious-like, and I say I owed my escape to her prayers. They wrote the letter and sent the book, and you can judge of the damper the reform movement in my heart met with when in 2 weeks' time back came the answer from my little Hoosier gal. If you owe so much to my prayer slinging, I'll quit doing it anymore. The man who wears Hoyle's games on his heart as the Lord's buckler and shield can't have Melinda Jane Rogers. Them's the very words. It almost broke me up. I found out the whole business when the boys gave me back my Bible. They found a copy of Hoyle's Games in my room, and for a lark, they sent it instead of the Living Gospel. Why, they practiced 2 days on an old patent office report with their shooters before they felt competent to put a natural hole into Hoyle's. I got awful blue, still carried my Bible in my pocket, and borrowed a $2 steak. I tackled old King Pharaoh. I had a fancy for the 9 spot now, you can bet. So I put my chips on the 9 spot, and I won and won. It kept doubling at every turn. And in less than 2 hours, I was ahead $1,100. Everyone was astonished at my luck. That night my room was entered. None of my money was taken, only the Bible was missing. This staggered me, but now I know that the Bible brings luck to every man that carries it and coppers the 9 spot. The next night, I lost all my money. There was a tall, knobby sort playing next to me. He played the 9 spot for all it was worth against Old Dublin till Dublin shut up shop in disgust, a few thousand winner. He played the same game in Jim Manning's on the same card till he was ruled out of every game in the city. He became a holy terror to the Mexican side and was barred out there. I heard of him in the sin-stained, knife-scarred tents of Deming. He was just loaded down with wealth. He owned up it was my Bible brought him all the luck, and he used to joke like and call it the Holy Book. I tell you, I will never tackle another chip nor card till I lay hands on that man and get back my Bible. Where's the lucky Bible thief now? What's his name? Asked the interviewer. Why, can't you guess? Answered the narrator sadly, with a wild look in his eye and a thirsty gape to his mouth as he smelled the liquor circling around. His name is Walton, the fellow who cleaned out the big games at Johnny Morrissey's old places at Saratoga and Long Branch. He mopped their money dry, too, in Paris, and was ordered out of Monaco by its beggarly prince, and then wound up by coming to England and winning the Derby by betting on a horse with 9 white spots on him. But I say, who's to treat a thirsty man? And on part king of a 4-fingered glass of glory water, the sad historian of the Maimed Bible got up and ambled forward to the adjoining room to watch the chances of his fated 9 spot. This story came from the great state of Massachusetts, being reported in the Boston Weekly Globe of December 25th, 1883. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.